In a world full of noise, pressure, and constant comparison, how do you truly do your best? The ancient Stoics, timeless thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus left us powerful lessons that cut through the chaos. In this video, we're diving into 10 Stoic secrets for doing your best. These aren't vague philosophical ideas. They're practical principles you can start applying today. Stick around until the end, because secret number 10 is a mindset shift that could redefine how you approach every challenge in your life. Let's begin. Once to question your limits. Embracing growth and potential. In the pursuit of doing our best, one of the most profound yet overlooked challenges is questioning the invisible boundaries we set for ourselves. These limits, often built on fear, past failures, or societal expectations, create walls where doors should be. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that our perception shapes our reality, and that true growth begins the moment we dare to question those self-imposed constraints. The Stoic foundation: mind over limits. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most celebrated Stoic philosophers, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This simple yet profound idea encapsulates the essence of questioning limits. Marcus reminds us that our true power lies in our thoughts, perceptions, and responses, not in external circumstances. When we believe we've reached our limit, whether in a physical task, a mental challenge, or an emotional struggle, it's often not because we've genuinely hit our maximum capacity, but because our minds have told us so. The Stoics challenge us to ask, is this the truth, or just a comforting lie I've told myself to avoid discomfort? The origin of our limits. Understanding where our limits come from is the first step to questioning them. They often stem from three primary sources. The fear of failure. We avoid pushing boundaries because we fear falling short or being judged. Past experiences. A past failure or mistake convinces us that we shouldn't try again. Social conditioning. Society, family, or friends may have set expectations on what we're capable of. The Stoics encourage us to treat these fears and constraints like passing clouds. They are temporary thoughts, not immovable truths. Epictetus famously said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." Action step 1. Identify your limits. Write down an area in your life where you feel stuck. Ask yourself, why do I believe this is my limit? Challenge the source. Is it based on evidence, or is it just a story you've been telling yourself? Growth lies just beyond discomfort. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, believed that growth only happens when we embrace discomfort. He wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Think about the last time you achieved something meaningful. Was it easy? Probably not. Meaningful growth happens in that zone of discomfort, where you're stretched, challenged, and occasionally unsure if you'll make it. The Stoics understood that discomfort is not something to be avoided, but something to be embraced. Every challenge, every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. Action step 2, lean into discomfort. Identify one thing you've been avoiding because it feels uncomfortable. Take one small step today toward facing that discomfort. Reflect on how it felt afterward. Was it as bad as you imagined? The illusion of the perfect time. Many people wait for the right moment to push their limits, but the Stoics believed in the power of the present moment. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, do not let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Waiting for the perfect conditions, whether it's better resources, more time, or increased motivation, is often just another excuse. The truth is, there is no perfect time. The right moment is now. Action step 3, take imperfect action. Think of one thing you've been postponing. Take one imperfect step toward it today. Focus on progress, not perfection. Redefining failure, a Stoic perspective. Failure is one of the biggest reasons people stop questioning their limits. But the Stoics had a very different view of failure. Seneca said, "A setback is the perfect opportunity to practice virtue." Failure is not the end. It's feedback. It's a lesson wrapped in temporary defeat. Every failure carries valuable information. What didn't work, where you can improve, and how you can adjust your strategy. The true failure, according to the Stoics, isn't falling short. It's failing to try at all. Action step 4. Embrace failure as a teacher. Think of a time you failed at something. Write down 3 things you learned from that experience. Apply one of those lessons to a current challenge. The role of discipline in questioning limits. Discipline is the bridge between questioning your limits and actually overcoming them. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Discipline isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. It's showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about making the hard choice now for a better outcome later. When you question your limits, discipline keeps you moving forward, even when doubt creeps in. Action step 5, build a daily discipline habit. Choose one habit that will push you beyond your comfort zone, e.g., daily exercise, reading, or journaling. Commit to doing it every day for 30 days, no matter what. Track your progress and reflect weekly. Surround yourself with the right people. The people you surround yourself with can either reinforce your limits or help you break through them. The Stoics valued community and the power of wise counsel. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Seek people who challenge you, inspire you, and remind you of your potential. Avoid those who constantly sow doubt or negativity." Action step 6, evaluate your circle. Write down the names of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Do these people push me toward growth or keep me comfortable in my limits? Make adjustments if necessary. Embrace the journey, not just the destination. The Stoics remind us that growth is not a one-time event, but a continuous journey. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Questioning your limits isn't about reaching one big milestone. It's about consistently striving for improvement. Celebrate small wins, learn from failures, and keep moving forward. Action step 7, practice daily. Reflection. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did I challenge any of my limits today? Write down one thing you did well and one thing you can improve. Repeat this practice daily. As you reflect on this Stoic secret, remember, your limits are often illusions. They are lines drawn not by reality, but by fear, self-doubt, or past failures. The Stoics remind us to approach these limits with courage, reason, and discipline. Every day presents an opportunity to push a little further, question a little deeper, and grow a little stronger. 2. You attract what you embody, the mirror of virtues. In the Stoic worldview, the internal always shapes the external. Who you are, your character, your mindset, your values acts as a mirror reflecting onto the world around you. Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This principle teaches us a profound truth. We do not attract what we merely want. We attract what we are. If you desire respect, you must embody respect. If you seek trust, you must first be trustworthy. The Stoic reflection on virtues. The 4 cardinal virtues of Stoicism, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, are not abstract ideals but actionable principles. They are the foundation for becoming the kind of person who naturally draws goodness, opportunity, and meaningful relationships into their life. Wisdom. Make thoughtful, informed decisions. Courage. Act despite fear. Justice. Do what is fair and right, even when it's inconvenient. Temperance. Practice moderation and self-control. When you embody these virtues, they act like magnets, drawing similar energy and people into your orbit. The mirror effect in action. Imagine 2 individuals. One complains, blames others, and avoids responsibility. The other takes ownership, practices gratitude, and faces challenges with courage. Who do you think attracts better opportunities? Stronger relationships and a sense of fulfillment? The Stoics understood this universal law. What we project is what we invite. If your internal world is chaotic, your external world will reflect that chaos. But if your internal world is built on integrity and self-mastery, your external life will follow suit. Action step 1. Define your core. Virtues. Write down the top 3 virtues you want to embody. Reflect on each. Am I living these virtues daily? Identify one actionable way to express each virtue this week. Action step 2. Audit your behavior. For one day, observe your reactions, thoughts, and speech. Ask, am I projecting the qualities wish to attract? adjust where needed. The power of inner alignment. Seneca reminds us, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. When your inner world aligns with your values, you become centered. You stop chasing validation from others because your actions speak for themselves. This attracts not just success in worldly terms, but peace of mind, a treasure the Stoics considered the highest reward. Embody before you expect. You cannot expect loyalty if you are disloyal. You cannot expect respect if you are disrespectful. Stoicism demands that we become what we seek. Instead of asking, why isn't the world giving me what I want? Ask, am I showing up as the person who deserves it? Final thought, you are not separate from the energy you attract. Every thought, word, and action contributes to the environment you create around yourself. Embody the virtues you admire, and you will find the world reflecting them back to you. 3. The pursuit of improvement. Becoming a pro-Copton. In Stoicism, the journey towards excellence isn't about perfection, it's about consistent improvement. The Stoics referred to a student of their philosophy as a pro-Copton, meaning one who is making progress. This term reminds us that the goal isn't to become flawless, but to steadily become better than we were yesterday. The Stoic journey of progress. Seneca once wrote, "We are all learning every day, and the wise man is still a student." In the eyes of the Stoics, life is a workshop, and we are both the craftsman and the material being shaped. A pro-Copton accepts that improvement is a lifelong process. There's no finish line to wisdom, no final stage of moral perfection. Instead, each day brings new opportunities to refine character, sharpen judgment, and strengthen resilience. The mindset of a pro-Copton. Being a pro-Copton requires embracing 3 key mindsets. 1. Humility. Recognize that you don't know everything and remain open to learning. 2. Accountability. Own your mistakes and shortcomings without excuse. 3. Persistence. Improvement is often slow and incremental. Commit to the process even when results aren't immediately visible. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't be ashamed of needing help. You have a duty to fulfill, just like a soldier on the wall of battle. So what if you are injured and can't climb unassisted? You can still do your part." Improvement doesn't mean independence from struggle. It means showing up every day, even when you feel weak, tired, or defeated. Small steps, big impact. The Stoics believed in the power of small, consistent actions. A great transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of daily, disciplined effort. Read a little wisdom every day. Reflect on your actions every evening. Face one fear or discomfort every week. Progress compounds over time, and the pro-Copton understands that small victories accumulate into monumental growth. Action step 1, reflect daily. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I do well today? Where can one improve tomorrow? Write your reflections in a journal to track your growth. Action step 2, embrace feedback. Seek honest feedback from mentors, friends, or family. View criticism not as an attack, but as an opportunity for growth. Failure as a teacher. The pro-Copton knows that failure is not an obstacle, it's a teacher. Epictetus said, "Difficulties are things that show what men are. Every misstep offers a chance to learn. Every struggle reveals an area for improvement." Instead of being paralyzed by failure, the Stoic student uses it as fuel to become better. The continuous path. Being a pro-Copton means never believing you've arrived. Even Marcus Aurelius, an emperor and philosopher, wrote in his private journal, "Do not expect the world to be perfect. Strive instead to perfect yourself little by little." The pursuit of improvement isn't glamorous. It's often quiet, repetitive, and unrecognized. But it's also deeply rewarding because it aligns you with something greater than yourself, the commitment to becoming the best version of who you can be. The Stoics remind us that improvement isn't about comparison with others, but about growth relative to ourselves. Are you better today than you were yesterday? If the answer is yes, then you are on the path of the pro-Copton. Pour your heart into your endeavors, commitment, and virtue. The Stoics believed that true excellence comes not from half-hearted efforts, but from total commitment to our actions, guided by virtue. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life." This principle emphasizes the importance of presence, focus, and wholehearted dedication in everything we do, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. The virtue of commitment. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies the belief that virtue is the highest good. Virtue isn't just moral correctness. It's about performing every task, whether it's your work, your relationships, or your personal growth with integrity, sincerity and excellence. Wisdom. Approach your endeavors with clarity and thoughtful reasoning. Courage. Face challenges without fear of failure. Justice. Ensure fairness in your actions and decisions. Temperance. Maintain discipline and self-control even when distractions arise. When you pour your heart into your endeavors, you're not simply aiming for success. You're striving to act with virtue, regardless of the outcome. Focus on the process, not the outcome. One of the greatest Stoic lessons is to focus on what's within your control. You cannot always control results, but you can control your effort, focus, and commitment. Epictetus reminds us, do not attach your heart to the outcome of your work, but pour your heart into the work itself. In modern terms, this means show up fully present for your tasks. Give your best effort no matter the situation. Accept outcomes with grace, knowing you've done your part. Action step 1, identify your purpose. Choose one area of your life, work, personal goals, relationships. Ask yourself, what does commitment look like in this area? Write down one way you can show greater dedication starting today. Action step 2, remove half-heartedness. Identify tasks or commitments where you've been giving less than your best. Ask, what would this look like if I gave it my full effort? Take one concrete step toward deeper engagement. Guard against apathy. The Stoics viewed apathy, not caring, not showing up, not committing, as one of the greatest threats to a meaningful life. Seneca warned, it is not that we have a short space of time, but that we waste much of it. Pouring your heart into your endeavors isn't about burning yourself out, it's about aligning your efforts with your purpose and values. When you act with commitment, every task, no matter how mundane, becomes an opportunity for excellence. Commitment as a form of respect. When you dedicate yourself fully to something, you are showing respect. To yourself, honoring your time, energy, and potential. To others, demonstrating reliability and integrity. To the task, treating every responsibility as worthy of your best effort. The reward of full engagement. There's a unique satisfaction that comes from giving your all to something, regardless of whether it succeeds or fails. The Stoics remind us that our peace of mind doesn't come from external validation, it comes from knowing we acted with honor and gave our best. Action step 3, practice. Wholehearted presence. For 1 week, approach every task, no matter how small, with full focus and attention. Avoid distractions and multitasking. Reflect at the end of each day. Did I truly pour my heart into my work today? The Stoics understood that life is fleeting and unpredictable. Every action we take, every moment we experience, is an opportunity to express our commitment to virtue. When you pour your heart into your endeavors, you leave no room for regret, only the quiet satisfaction of knowing you gave your best. Stop debating what it means to be a good man. D1. Marcus Aurelius. Takeaway. Commitment isn't about guaranteeing success, it's about guaranteeing integrity in your efforts. Pour your heart into what you do, and let virtue guide your every action. Stay on your path, navigating life with purpose and integrity. In a world full of distractions, comparisons, and conflicting opinions, staying true to your path is one of the greatest challenges and one of the greatest virtues. The Stoics remind us that a purposeful life is not one spent chasing fleeting pleasures or the approval of others, but one anchored in integrity and guided by a clear sense of direction. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This wisdom emphasizes that clarity of purpose and steadfast integrity are the foundation of a meaningful life. The Stoic compass, purpose and integrity. Your path is defined by 2 core principles. What purpose? Knowing why you're doing what you're doing. Your purpose acts as your North Star, guiding you through uncertainty and distraction. Integrity, acting in alignment with your values, even when no one is watching. Integrity ensures your actions are not swayed by external pressures but rooted in internal principles. Seneca reminds us, if a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Without purpose, you become aimless. tossed around by every passing trend, opinion, or obstacle. Avoid the comparison trap. In our modern world, it's easy to lose sight of our path by constantly comparing ourselves to others. Social media, societal expectations, and peer pressure can pull us away from our authentic direction. Epictetus offers a solution. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. You can't control other people's opinions. You can't control their successes or failures. But you can control your focus, your actions, and your dedication to your path. Action Step 1. Clarify your path. Write down your core purpose in life, or an area of your life. Identify 3 key values that guide your decisions. Reflect on whether your current actions align with your path. Integrity, the quiet strength. Integrity isn't loud. It doesn't demand attention or validation. It's the quiet strength of staying true to your principles, even when it's inconvenient or difficult. When faced with a moral dilemma or external pressure, ask yourself, is this action aligned with my values? Would I still choose this path if no one was watching? Stoics remind us that integrity is not about grand gestures. It's about the small, consistent choices we make every day. Distractions, the silent thief of purpose. Distractions don't always come in the form of noise or busyness. Sometimes, they come disguised as opportunities, shortcuts, or even well-meaning advice from others. Marcus Aurelius advises, do not let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. Learn to say no to things that pull you away from your path. Prioritize activities and commitments that align with your purpose. Resilience, the key to staying on course. Life will test your commitment to your path. Obstacles will arise, doubts will creep in, and the road will feel long and uncertain. But the Stoics remind us that resilience is the ability to keep moving forward, despite these challenges. Seneca said, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Every obstacle is an opportunity to reaffirm your commitment. Every setback is a chance to remind yourself why you started this journey in the first place. Action Step 3. Build resilience through reflection. When faced with a challenge, ask, what can I learn from this? Write down one past obstacle you overcame and how it made you stronger. Remind yourself of your purpose when times get tough. Celebrate your path, not just the destination. The Stoics understood that the journey itself is as important as the destination. Staying on your path isn't about arriving at a specific point, it's about walking it with consistency, integrity, and courage. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If your thoughts are aligned with your purpose, and your actions reflect your integrity, you are already successful, regardless of external outcomes. If your thoughts are aligned with your purpose, and your actions reflect your integrity, you are already successful, regardless of external outcomes. Your path is unique to you, shaped by your values, your goals, and your vision for life. The world will try to distract you, people will try to deter you, and circumstances will test you. But if you stay grounded in purpose and act with integrity, you'll not only stay on your path, you'll inspire others to find theirs. Hold fast to that which is your purpose and let nothing sway you from it. Marcus Aurelius, letting go of outcomes, finding freedom in the process. One of the greatest sources of anxiety and dissatisfaction comes from our attachment to outcomes. We invest time, effort, and emotion into our endeavors, only to feel frustrated or defeated when things don't go as planned. The Stoics understood this deeply and offered a liberating perspective. Focus on the process, not the result. Epictetus reminds us, some things are up to us and some are not up to us. Outcomes ultimately are not within our control. What is within our control is the effort, intention, and commitment we bring to every action. The illusion of control. We often believe that if we work hard, enough, plan meticulously, or wish intensely, we can guarantee a specific outcome. But life doesn't work that way. External factors, other people's actions, chance events, or unforeseen circumstances are always in play. Freedom comes when we release the illusion of control over results, and instead focus on the quality of our actions. Did you give your best effort? Were your intentions aligned with your values? Did you act with courage, wisdom, and integrity? If the answer is yes, then the outcome, whether favorable or not, becomes secondary. The Stoic dichotomy of control. At the heart of Stoicism lies the dichotomy of control. 1. What you can control. Your thoughts, actions, decisions, and effort. 2. What you can't control. Outcomes, opinions of others, external events. When you focus on what's within your control, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Epictetus advises, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. The process is where growth happens. Outcomes are fleeting, but the process is where character is forged. Whether you succeed or fail, the effort you invest shapes who you become. The hours you dedicate to mastering your craft, the resilience you build in facing setbacks, the discipline you demonstrate in showing up consistently. These are the true rewards of any endeavor. Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." By focusing on the process, you detach from imaginary fears and immerse yourself in the present moment. Action step 1. Identify what you can control. Think of a current goal or challenge in your life. Write down everything about it that you can control. Write down what's outside your control. Focus only on the first list and let go of the second. Action step 2. Redefine success. Stop measuring success purely by results. Instead, ask, did I give my best effort today? Celebrate your discipline and consistency, not just your victories. Acceptance without resignation. Letting go of outcomes doesn't mean you stop caring or stop trying. It means you give your best effort and accept whatever happens with grace. If you win, celebrate with humility. If you lose, learn with curiosity. Marcus Aurelius said, accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny. For what could more aptly fit your needs? Acceptance isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the ability to face reality without resistance. The paradox of letting go. Here's the paradox. When you stop obsessing over outcomes, you often achieve better results. Why? Because your energy is no longer wasted on fear, doubt, or regret. You're fully immersed in the task at hand, focused and present. Letting go creates clarity, and clarity enhances performance. Action step 3. Reflect on your attachment to outcomes. Think of a recent goal or task where you were overly focused on the outcome. Ask yourself, did this attachment make me more effective or more stressed? Next time, remind yourself, focus on the action, not the result. The freedom of detachment. When you free yourself from the weight of expectations, life becomes lighter. You start to see obstacles as opportunities, failures as lessons, and victories as temporary milestones on a larger journey. Epictetus summed it up beautifully. Do not seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly. Letting go of outcomes doesn't mean you stop striving for excellence. It means you shift your focus from things you can't control to the effort and integrity you bring to every moment. In that shift lies true freedom, the kind of freedom that allows you to face any result with calmness, wisdom, and resilience. Small steps, big impact, doing what little you can. In a world that glorifies grand gestures and overnight success, the Stoics remind us of a profound truth. Great achievements are often the result of small, consistent actions. Seneca wrote, life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. The Stoics understood that the path to greatness isn't paved with monumental leaps but with small, deliberate steps taken consistently over time. The power of incremental progress. When faced with a big challenge, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. The mind races with doubts. Where do I start? What if I fail? Can I even do this? But the Stoics teach us to break down the seemingly impossible into manageable steps. Marcus Aurelius advises, do not let the enormity of the task overwhelm you. Take it one step at a time and you'll get there. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to the whole. Each day you write one paragraph of your book, learn one new skill, have one meaningful conversation. These small acts, repeated consistently, become transformative over time. The compound effect of small actions. The Stoics were early advocates of what modern thinkers call the compound effect. Small actions, when done consistently, accumulate into massive results. A few minutes of focused effort every day leads to mastery over time. Small savings grow into wealth. Tiny habits shape your identity. Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. In other words, clarify your goal and then focus on the small, daily actions that bring you closer to it. Think of one big goal you've been procrastinating on. Write down the smallest possible step you can take today. Do that step, no matter how minor it seems. Action step 2. Build tiny habits. Choose one positive habit you'd like to develop. Journaling, meditating, exercising. Start small. Commit to just 2 minutes a day. Gradually increase the effort as the habit solidifies. Focus on the present moment. The Stoics remind us that the present moment is the only one we truly own. Don't let the weight of the entire journey paralyze you. Instead, focus on the next step, just the next one. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Don't try to picture everything bad that could possibly happen. Stick with the situation at hand. When you focus on one small task, you're not distracted by the fear of failure or the burden of the entire journey." Avoid the trap of perfectionism. Perfectionism often stops us from taking even the smallest step. We think, if I can't do it perfectly, why bother doing it at all? But the Stoics teach us that action, no matter how imperfect, is always better than inaction. Seneca reminds us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Perfection is a mirage, but progress is real. Take the step, no matter how flawed. Action step 3, celebrate small wins. At the end of each day, write down one small step you took toward your goal. Celebrate it. Acknowledge your effort. Remind yourself small steps count. Small acts define your character. It's not the grand moments that define us, but the small, repeated acts. The small promises you keep to yourself. The daily commitment to growth. The consistent effort to show up even on difficult days. These actions shape not only your achievements, but also your character. Epictetus advises, progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself daily. The ripple effect of small actions. The beauty of small steps is that their impact extends beyond yourself. A kind word, a moment of patience, or a small act of service can ripple outward in ways you may never fully see. One act of kindness can inspire someone else to do the same. One productive day can lead to a week of momentum. One decision to act can change the course of your life. The Stoics remind us that we are responsible for our small contributions to the world. And these contributions matter. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need a perfect plan. All you need is the courage to take one small step today, right now. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Every small action overcomes resistance, builds momentum, and brings you closer to your purpose. 8. Redefining success, virtues over vanity. In a world obsessed with wealth, status, and external validation, the Stoics offer a radically different definition of success, a life lived in alignment with virtue. For them, success wasn't measured by accolades, riches, or popularity, but by the strength of one's character and the consistency of one's principles. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This wisdom reminds us that true success isn't something others can give or take away. It's an internal state, achieved by living with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. The hollow pursuit of vanity. Vanity-driven success often feels like chasing a mirage. You reach one milestone, only to find yourself fixated on the next, perpetually unsatisfied. The trap of more. In modern life, we are conditioned to believe that more equals better. More money, more recognition, more followers. But the Stoics remind us, more won't make you whole. More doesn't fix internal emptiness. More is an endless treadmill with no finish line. Success isn't about accumulation, it's about alignment. Action step 3, daily virtue. Reflection. At the end of each day, ask, did I live according to my values today? Reflect on moments where you upheld virtue and moments where you fell short. Plan one adjustment for tomorrow. Virtue as the ultimate success. When you redefine success as living with virtue, everything changes. Failures become lessons, not defeats. Achievements become milestones, not identities. Life becomes about how you live, not just what you achieve. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, a noble man compares and estimates himself by an idea which is higher than himself. and a mean man by one lower than himself. The one produces aspiration, the other ambition, which is the way in which a vulgar man aspires. Aspire to virtue, not vanity. Success in the Stoic sense isn't something you chase, it's something you embody. It's not about how much you gain, but how well you live. When your actions align with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, you are already successful, regardless of the world's recognition. Takeaway: redefine success as a life lived with virtue, not a life defined by vanity. True success is found in character, not in trophies. You reject the need for approval. Authenticity over acclaim. The desire for approval is one of the most common traps in life, a subtle force that can steer us away from our values and distort our true selves. The Stoics remind us that chasing approval is a form of self-imposed slavery, where our happiness and self-worth become tethered to the opinions of others. Epictetus said it plainly: if you are ever tempted to look for outside approval, realize that you have compromised your own integrity. Be satisfied with being who you are. True freedom lies in authenticity, in living according to your principles, rather than bending to gain applause or avoid criticism. The approval trap. Seeking approval isn't inherently bad. It's natural to want to be liked, respected, or admired. But the danger lies in making approval your guiding star, allowing it to dictate your choices, your actions, and your sense of self-worth. You hesitate to speak your mind for fear of judgment. You make decisions based on how others will perceive them. You compromise your values to fit in or be praised. The Stoics urge us to recognize this trap for what it is: a distraction from living authentically, and a barrier to true peace of mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." The illusion of control over opinions. The opinions of others are outside your control. You cannot dictate how people perceive you, interpret your actions, or judge your character. The Stoics remind us, you control your actions, not others' reactions. You control your integrity, not others' approval. When you realize this, you free yourself from the exhausting pursuit of trying to manage perceptions. Authenticity as a virtue. Authenticity is not about being loud or rebellious. It's about being honest with yourself and consistent with your principles. Say what you mean without trying to manipulate reactions. Act in alignment with your values even when it's unpopular. Make choices based on what is right, not what is liked. Seneca said, "What progress, you ask, have I made? I have begun to be a friend to myself." When you prioritize authenticity over acclaim, you become your own ally, no longer seeking validation from external sources. Action step 1, reflect on your motives. Think of a recent decision you made. Ask yourself, was this choice driven by my values or by the fear of disapproval? Identify one area where you've been compromising authenticity for approval. The courage to be misunderstood. Living authentically doesn't mean everyone will agree with you or understand you. In fact, it often means the opposite. People might criticize your choices, question your motives, or even ridicule you. But Epictetus reminds us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. The price of authenticity is the willingness to stand alone if necessary. Approval is fleeting. Even when you gain others' approval, it's rarely permanent. Today's applause can become tomorrow's criticism. When you build your sense of self on such unstable ground, you'll always feel anxious, fragile, and dependent. The Stoics teach us to root our self-worth in something more stable: our actions, our character, and our commitment to virtue. Action step 2, practice. Independence from opinions. For one day, avoid seeking validation for your actions, e.g., posting on social media for likes or fishing for compliments. Reflect. How does it feel to act without seeking approval? Remind yourself, my worth is not tied to others' opinions. The quiet strength of inner approval. When you reject the need for approval, you gain something far more valuable: inner peace. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop living in constant fear of criticism. You focus on what truly matters to you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste the rest of your life worrying about others. Unless it has some benefit, it will keep you from doing anything useful. Your time and energy are limited. Don't waste them chasing approval. Be a standard for yourself. The Stoics encourage us to set our own internal standards and live by them. Regardless of external validation, define your values clearly. Measure your success by your alignment with those values, not others' applause. When you fall short, adjust your actions. Not because someone else told you to, but because you hold yourself accountable. Action step 3. Daily authenticity. Check. At the end of the day, ask, did I act in alignment with my values today? Write down one moment where you resisted the urge to seek approval. Celebrate that moment. It's a step toward freedom. Freedom through detachment. When you detach from the need for approval, you gain a profound sense of freedom. You become immune to flattery and resilient to criticism. You stop living on the unstable ground of others' opinions and start standing firmly on the foundation of your principles. Epictetus said it best. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Living authentically in a world that constantly demands conformity is an act of courage, but it's also an act of wisdom. The pursuit of approval is a treadmill you'll run forever and never arrive. But the pursuit of authenticity brings peace, strength, and self-respect. 10. Mastering the art of saying no. Asserting your values and priorities. In a world filled with endless demands, distractions, and opportunities, the ability to say no becomes not just a skill, but a necessity. The Stoics remind us that every yes we give to something unimportant is a no to something meaningful. Epictetus wisely said, whoever is unwilling to descend into their own soul and examine it will stumble through life aimlessly. Saying no is not about rejecting others. It's about protecting your time, energy, and focus so you can honor your values and stay aligned with your priorities. The weight of yes and no. Every decision carries a cost. When you agree to something, whether it's a commitment, a task, or even a social event, you are implicitly saying no to something else. Saying yes to another work project might mean saying no to rest. Saying yes to unnecessary obligations might mean saying no to your personal goals. Saying yes to distractions means saying no to focused progress. Marcus Aurelius warns, if you seek tranquility, do less. Or more accurately, do what's essential. Bring a sharp focus to what you do and do it well. The Stoics urge us to be deliberate with our commitments. Know your values, know your priorities. The ability to say no begins with clarity about your values and priorities. Without this foundation, every request will feel equally important, and every no will feel like a missed opportunity. What matters most to you? What are your non-negotiables? What are the long-term goals that deserve your energy? When your priorities are clear, decisions become easier. The fear behind saying no. Saying no often feels uncomfortable because it carries fears. Fear of disappointing others. Fear of missing out. Fear of being perceived as rude or unhelpful. But Seneca reminds us, he who is everywhere is nowhere. By trying to please everyone, you serve no one, not even yourself. True strength lies in setting boundaries, even when it feels uncomfortable. Action step 1. Practice mindful decision-making. Pause before saying yes to any request. Ask, does this align with my values and priorities? If it doesn't, politely decline. Politeness and firmness, the Stoic way of saying no. The Stoics teach us to balance firmness with kindness. A Stoic no isn't harsh or dismissive, it's clear. Respectful and unapologetic. Be direct. Thank you for thinking of me, but I can't commit to this right now. Offer alternatives, if possible. I can't help with that, but I suggest trying X or Y. Avoid over-explaining. A simple no thank you is often enough. Epictetus advises, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Let your boundaries speak for themselves through your calm, consistent actions. The freedom of saying no. Every no creates space. Space for rest. Space for creativity. Space for meaningful work. Saying no isn't about closing doors. It's about opening the right ones. It's an act of self-respect, clarity, and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? If the answer is no, act accordingly. Action step 2, set clear boundaries. Write down 3 things you'll no longer say yes to, unless absolutely essential. Identify 1 recurring commitment you need to decline. Practice saying no firmly but kindly this week. Saying no to yourself, sometimes the most challenging. No is the one you must say to yourself. No to procrastination. No to distractions. No to habits that undermine your goals. Self-discipline is the highest form of self-respect. Seneca said, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." The balance of saying yes and no. Mastering the art of saying no isn't about becoming uncooperative, it's about being selective. Every no you give protects your ability to say yes to what truly matters. Yes to personal growth. Yes to meaningful relationships. Yes to rest and reflection. Your yes becomes more powerful when it isn't diluted by unnecessary obligations. Action step 3, reflect on your commitments. Review your calendar or task list. Identify one commitment you regret saying yes to. Plan how you will avoid similar situations in the future. Courage in boundaries. Saying no takes courage. It means prioritizing long-term purpose over short-term comfort. It means embracing discomfort for the sake of clarity. Epictetus reminds us, no great thing is created suddenly. Protect your time. Protect your focus. Protect your peace. Saying no isn't selfish, it's strategic. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are finite resources and treating them with respect. When you learn to say no to what doesn't align with your values, you create room for what does. The wisdom of the Stoics isn't meant to remain confined to ancient texts or lofty ideals. It's meant to be lived, practiced, and embodied every single day. These 10 secrets are not quick fixes, but timeless principles for a life well lived. Questioning your limits, embodying virtues, embracing growth, and letting go of what you cannot control. Each step builds a foundation of resilience, clarity, and inner peace. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Life is fleeting, and the time to act is now. Reflect on these lessons. Choose one secret to focus on today, and let it guide your actions. Because the path to excellence is not walked in grand gestures, but in small, intentional steps taken consistently.